Good evening, listeners. Sorry about that. Right up at the front, just experienced a little. My internet dropped. But good evening. You are tuned in to this week in interview. So welcome to all our viewers and our listeners. It's the Christmas season, and this is Christmas week. And so, right off the bat, I'd like to wish you season's greetings, happy holidays. Whichever form in which you celebrate your holidays. If you do Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you do Hanukkah, Happy that. Kwanzaa. If you don't celebrate it at all, I still hope that you have some time to relax and to have some downtime as we come to the end of the year. So happy holidays to you. There are a few special people who are celebrating their birthdays since the last episode. So happy birthday to you if you are a Christmas baby born in the month of December. My one of the people that I look up to, one of my mentors, Mr. Afi Martin. This week is your birthday, so special happy birthday to you as well. Um, Tonight we are talking about an activity that is very close to the very close to the whole Christmas season of giving. There are a group of individuals called the Homeless Outreach Committee, and they're doing a program where they're going to provide meals to folks who really need it. But it's more than a meal; it's warmth and it's comfort. And so you in for a treat tonight because we are going to talk. I always talk about generosity, so it's always a good conversation. So, welcome to you, my regular listeners. It's a pleasure to have you. Tonight is really special. It's almost the last episode for the year, but we have one more on the 28th. But it's the last one before the Christmas, and so thank you for tuning in every Wednesday night. And if tonight is the first time that you're listening to This Week in Interview or watching us on This Week in Interview, a very special welcome to you. If you are in Dominica and you're watching us on DigiPlay channel 59, through our one of our affiliate stations, one of the stations who affiliates closely with us, RVR Jams Radio. They are on DigiPlay channel 59. So good evening to you, wherever you are in Dominica, in North America, in the UK, and so on. A very warm um, welcome to you. Some of you need that warmth because in some parts of the US right now, there are storms, snowstorms. And so I hope we can bring a little bit of holiday glow and holiday warmth to you. All right, let's jump right in. I'm not going to do the usual break for CARICOM anthem or anything like that. I want to tell you that I have two special guests on the line from Dominica. They will be helping us to talk about Christmas and the giving spirit of Christmas. Together, they form a committee called the Homeless Outreach Committee. And it comprises a collaboration between four organizations and numerous individuals. So there is a nonprofit organization called Echo 78. It's an organization that was formed to help um, promote various aspects of Dominica, like our agriculture and our environment and so on. So Echo 78, alluding to 1978 when Dominica became independent. We have Civic Vibes. Most of you would be familiar with Civic Vibes because my audience happen to be most intersecting audience with Civic Vibes, who usually is on a Sunday, um, taking on concerns of the citizens of Dominica and proposing solutions to some of those problems. The other organization is Open Arms Charity, which is headed by Pastor Jack. Pastor Jack and his church members have Open Arms Charity, where throughout the year they identify folks who who are a little bit less fortunate, who need a little bit of a hand, and they provide them with that assistance. And of course, you have TDN Media Network, where we play our part and we provide support and we actually jump in and participate. So these organizations come together and they form what is called a Homeless Outreach Committee. And we've done, over the last 2 years, we've done a number of events where we've provided meals and care packages for homeless people, and not just homeless, people who need a meal and people who can benefit from some attention. And so we're very, very proud to be associated with that. And tonight I have two members of that committee, Miss Julie Martin and Pastor Jack. Um, they are on with us tonight, and they're going to tell us about the event that's taking place this week. But they're also going to tell us about the need that they are hoping to fulfill. So let's bring them up on the screen. Pastor Jack and Julie, a very, very warm welcome to both of you to this week in interview. Pastor Jack, you've been on before. Julie, it's your first time, but I'm going to let Pastor Jack introduce himself to the audience.
Well, After said that my name is Jack and I'm a pastor. Some people call me Pastor Jack. They think that's just my name, but my name is Jack. I'm also a Christmas baby. Sunday was my birthday, so I say thank you to you. And it's always, I used to say I was born during the festive season. So I have been a pastor for many decades, and one person asked me if I started when I was creeping, but the number of years, and charity. When I became a member of the church, I was shocked at the level of charity that was being done, and I got a little irritated. I think enough was not being done. So for the past 4 decades, I have been involved in charity, but was restricted by my denomination that we quoted that you're not supposed to let your left hand know what your right hand do. But after a while, I realized that the context was misinterpreted. While we did a lot of work, but it was to be kept in secret. But I was convicted that if we don't let people know what we're doing, how can they support what we're doing? So the church soon got along, understand my point, and we begin to go out there and reach other people. And we use the radio and to just let people know there is somebody you can call to help you. And our motto is, if you cannot help people, find help for them. So that is basically what I do. It's something I'm thrilled about. Like I told you, it's over 40 years. We have been doing this kind of work, but was kept in secret. We were not allowed to go public. But we have, since after Maria, we saw the greater need and we went public. And then that is what is the outcome of it. I met some lovely people who have always encouraged me, and people in the diaspora, once they heard about it. And that's why the church was convinced that there was nothing wrong in letting people know what we have been involved with for the past 40 years. So I am glad and thankful tonight for being there and to be happy to be a member of this committee and some of the loveliest people I've met. So thank you for inviting us, and thank you for giving that privilege to talk about open arms. And that is exactly what it means. We open our arms to all.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Pastor Jack. Julie, it's your first time on This Week in Interview. And the audience, as you can realize, there's a bit of an echo. So you have to bear with us. They're coming from Dominica, and sometimes we have a little bit of the challenges with technology coming from Dominica. But Julie, it's a pleasure to have you on This Week in Interview. I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, I didn't quite hear everything. Like we said, there's a little delay.
Uh-oh.
However, yes, I am Julian Martin. Most people call me Julie for the past 40 years. past, I say 10 years, I have been assigned to the Godo Primary School. At present, I am the vice principal. However, on this platform, I represent Echo 78. As Pastor Jack said, for the past few years, we have tried to do the homeless feeding, and not just feeding, but to those who are less fortunate. Um, Not only for hot meal, but I guess we'll get into that as soon as you're ready. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be here and to be on your show and to speak to the audience to let them know what's up here.
Awesome. It's great to have you as well. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to stay with you for a moment, and I want you to just talk about what is it that moves you to to take from your time, because you are a teacher, you're a vice principal of your school, so I imagine you have a very busy life. Plus you have a personal life. Uh, what is
What
it
was the
that
question?
what is it that motivates you to to do that, to go out and serve folks who need the help?
What my motivation? Is that what it
Yes,
is?
yes. Hmm.
Okay. So basically, I don't think I need any motivation to do this. It's not like somebody say, "Oh, come on, let's do this," and um, I had to think twice. Basically, I mean, we know what it is to be without. We go about our daily businesses, busy, and we pass people on the road who are we call vagrants. We don't know what their story is, but I don't think anyone wants to be homeless or destitute in the position that they are. So it wasn't a matter of motivation. It was meeting a need basically, and I know what it is to be hungry. So you're hungry, you're destitute, and society kind of just give up on you, doesn't even see you. So it's a matter of meeting a need. And as Pastor Jack, I think, alluded to earlier, this is basically the Christian thing to do. In the Bible, it talks about helping those who are less fortunate and giving alms. And we have a story of the Good Samaritan and all of that. The Bible is filled with stories where Jesus himself reached out to those who are less fortunate. So it's nothing strange or miraculous. It's just meeting a need that's absolutely necessary. So also, like I said, I know what it is. At my school, it's another thing that I encounter almost on a daily basis, where some of our students would come hungry or they would not have a balanced or proper meal. So I see it, and so I know the importance of that and the extent to which one hot meal can have on an individual.
Right. That's awesome. And we will come back and talk about those needs in the school as well, because that's what I wanted to ask Pastor Jack about. Because he said that when he like got into the church, he saw the level of need, and the church has been doing it for 40 years. But Pastor Jack, some of us grew up in Dominican, and we see one or two people on the streets that some people refer to as vagrants, and we just assume that these people are probably alcoholics or whatever it is, and most of the time we go about our business. But how prevalent is the need for for meals? How people don't generally think of Dominicans as going hungry. People think that there's a lot of agricultural produce, there's stuff all over the place that people can get. But can you talk to us about the need that you see every day as you go around in your business?
If you don't give the impression that you're too busy, people will talk to you. And it was shocking. I was very much involved in the reconstruction and everything in Dominica after Maria, and I was surprised at the level at which people were in need. What really got me in high gear was after 2 or 3 years after Maria to visit their homes, and the people sometimes we judge as doing nothing needed, they still have their integrity and pride. If you find a private moment, you will be amazed in Dominica at the level of need where people, I think there are places in Dominica you would never think people sleep there, and they do, until I had to remove my tie and jacket and to walk through the communities, to talk to village council people, to allow people to gain the confidence of many people so that they can really tell you the need. And the need is far above what any 4, 5, 6, or 10 charities can ever cover. And there are people with all kind of needs. There are people with medical needs. There are people who have need for just basic furniture or kitchen utensils. People who tell you what breaks my heart more is for me to hear Dominican say, 2 days or 3 days I've not eaten anything. That blew me. I don't know where, if I was living under a stone, forgive me, but I couldn't believe that anyone Dominican would be able to stay days without food. And I remember there was a lady who was blind, and somebody asked me to go to pray for that lady. And when we were going, I wouldn't even call her in the village. And when we went there, she couldn't see me, but she was so excited because she could hear my voice. And then she gave me a story that motivated me so much. I saw where she was living, and she told me if I could remember her when I was going to school. And when I put two and two together, I remember her and see what had befall her. And she told me about an episode of when she saw when they were distributing food. And she heard, she couldn't see, but she heard that they were in the area. And her daughter told me, I watched them pass my mother, and they did not give her a bag of food. And that broke my heart. And these stories are all over Dominica. You will hear more of it right now as there was the distribution of ham and turkey this day. You would hear that the people who actually have great needs in Dominica, these needs are not met. They are at the school. If you talk to the school teachers, they will tell you of students who come to school. One teacher, well, in my area, we had adopted 2 schools, and it's because of the need. One teacher called me and confided in me. There was a particular family, and he told me, how can these children learn? Because they come to school every day. I said, okay, we'll do that one family. And then after a while, we had to adopt the Pichler School at the time, before Maria, and the Bellevue Government School, and to make sure that every child has something to eat, starting from the morning, that they would not go home empty. That led to something else, that we began an after-school feeding program. You see, because we found the need was everywhere. There are people, some of the things they tell you need. Like I said to people, you may not be able to supply it, but you know somebody who has one, somebody who has a pot. And I can remember just recently, a lady was thrown out of her house, and where she was living is like the place was a swimming pool, and she happened to secure 1 bedroom where 4 or 5 of them were sleeping, and all she needed was some kitchen utensils. We went to the church and we said, "Those, is there anybody else?" And we were surprised. There were people like to buy these things in bulk. I said, "You have one in your cupboard," and we were able to anything. People would ask us to come and collect galvanized toilet bowls, kitchen sink, and you will find somebody in need of it. Somebody who doesn't have enough money to buy their medical medicine or the medical supply, or somebody who's having a surgery, who want to have a surgery, but they do not have the kind of money that is being asked of them. The need is just so vast, from Scotze to Capuchin. And let's be careful, don't judge only the people we see, what we call vagrants. There are civil servants, teachers who are in great need. And because of the status that they carry in the society, They have not found people they can trust enough. And I am glad that Open Arms is bridging that gap. That we just need call that number and you can talk to one of our people, one of our administrators on phone in privacy. And we will get to where you are from Scotland to Capuchin and somebody will minister to you
Can
based
you
on your.
call that
Can you
number,
call that
Pastor
number,
Jack?
Pastor Jack? The number is 277-0188. 277-0188. And we want Open Arms to be a household name. That we don't say we can give you anything, but you have somebody you can call in case, maybe just to pray. There was a lady we went to in Roseau, and that touched my heart. She said, I don't need you to give me anything. Can you just call me? Can you just, and that was part of what we call adopt an elder program. We said that there are some people who they have the children sending them money. They have the children who come and give them this and that, but they are lonely. They need someone to come there once a week. So the need is all over. Don't say that person doesn't need or don't judge the person and don't judge them because they drive a car. There are people who drive cars and do not have a meal every day. There are people who are employed with government and by the time they pay everything they tell you, they have nothing. You can send them a box of provision, we do that, a box of groceries just for 1 week. We may not be able to send you every week. But when somebody tell you, I did not send my children to school because there was nothing to it. I only had my bus money because if I don't go to work, so it's between me going to work and the children going to school. So I kept them home. You have to do something about that, even for that 1 week. So the need is endless. And to me, being born and raised in Dominica, I am shocked and surprised at the level of poverty in Dominica.
Pastor Jack, you know, what you say is moving. And like to hear things like that and think it's political, but tonight we're not political at all. And I'm not even going to say there's blame or right now we're identifying that there is a need and we're trying to encourage folks to help to meet that need. Even if you don't have it yourself, you may know somebody who has, like you said, that need. And so my listeners, what I want to encourage you to do is take down that number, 767 277 0188. 767 277 0188. If you know somebody who has a need, call that number so they can get some help. And if you can help, call that number so you can help somebody who has a need. Or if you know somebody who may have some surplus stuff, I mean, there's a lot of folks in the US who have extra clothes. Just call that number. Pastor Jack will probably know somebody in the US who's putting together a barrel and they can get the clothes from you, put it in a barrel, and send it down to Pastor Jack. It might help somebody to go to work so they can earn a salary at the end of the month because they have some clothes to wear to go to work. Anything whatsoever. Call the number, talk to Pastor Jack, and he will tell you what somebody needs and he will help you to channel so that you can help. Because all of us feel good when we help. And even if you don't have to give, so for example, Pastor Jack is saying that you can comb somebody's hair. I think that's an excellent program to run in the schools. Have a young person who can plait hair to go by, I don't know, some person that Pastor Jack helps you and you can comb that person here for them on a Saturday. You can help them to wash their hair. That sort of thing. You can just sit with them and talk to them. Maybe they want you to go into the shop and buy them a pound of sugar. Just that human interaction will be good for them. So that is what I'm hearing that the need is. Um take a break at the half hour. We're 2 minutes from that. But I'm going to take the break right now because when I come back, I want to talk to Julie, Miss Martin, about what she mentioned. Some of the program, Pastor Jack alluded to it too. Students coming to school without enough in their stomach. so that their brain can have the energy to absorb what they need to absorb, or just not having enough to even make it to school in the first place. So let's take a quick break together with from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll be continuing this conversation and we'll be talking about the event that's coming up on Friday as well. Stay tuned, listeners.
Presented by People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
If you live in Canada, the US, and the UK and are looking for Dominica products including cocoa sticks, bay rum, coffee, soaps, crafts, and other popular Dominica items, then look no further. You can now shop on BuyDominicaOnline.com, a secure, easy-to-navigate website selling a wide variety of Dominica-made and Dominica-inspired products. When you shop on BuyDominicaOnline.com, you are helping to grow Dominica's economy. Go to BuyDominicaOnline.com and enjoy home away from home.
Looking to promote your business, engage current customers, and reach new people? Well, look no further. From the basic presentation to a fully fledged advertisement, use your video ads to attract customers. At Man's Audiovisual Productions, we do just that. We produce videos for business and event promotions, product demo videos, animated explainer videos, fundraiser ads, and much, much more. Engage your clients and sell online. We customize the video to match your brand design. Guaranteed to play flawless on all devices, including smart TVs. Contact us at telephone number 203-690-4342 or 767-245-6238. Visit our website, mansaudiovisual.com. or email us at derekvideo@gmail.com.
Welcome back, listeners. Thank you so much to our sponsors. As we approach the end of the year, I want to say a very special thank you to our sponsors. Man's Audiovisual, they do all the graphic work, most of the graphic work, the flyers that we do, and so on. You check them out. They do flyers, but they can do as much as a full production of your event. If you have an event, a wedding, a funeral, special activity, Man's Audiovisual can show up very professional. They have state-of-the-art equipment. They can show up and they can give you they can do it live so that folks who cannot attend can view, but they can also record and give you a real produce post-production, as you call it, professional product that you can keep for your posterity and your heritage passed on to your kids for memory and all of those things. So check them out, Man's Audiovisual. You will be able to find them. Also, Beacon Dental Health has been a sponsor of this weekend interview for the last few years. We want to say thank you to them. They are located on Blue Hill Ave in Dorchester, Massachusetts, basically in Boston. If you're not from the area, just call it Boston. State-of-the-art dental facility. I drive from New York to Boston to get my dental care. They are that good. You should check them out, Beacon Dental Health. And of course, it's Christmas season. Excuse me. So you are going to be giving gifts. You're going to treat yourself. Buy dominicaonline.com can get you all your authentic, all your organic, all your certified um, produce from Dominica. Check them out. Buy dominicaonline.com and support Dominican businesses, but also get really well packaged and produced in state of the art facilities products from Dominica. So support them. They support us and help us to show our gratitude to them by patronizing their business and so that they can continue to sponsor us and we can continue bringing you the great conversations like what we're having tonight. Um, Tonight we're talking to two members of the Homeless Outreach Committee, Miss Julian Martin and Pastor Jack. And loosely, we come together and form the Homeless Outreach Committee. There are four formally organized organizations that's involved: Echo 78, Civic Vibes, Open Arms Charity, and TDN Media Network. And we come together. We've done this a few times. It's 2 years now, but we don't do it once a year. Pastor Jack does it pretty much every day of the year. And we're talking to Pastor Jack and Julie and Pastor Jack was telling us about the tremendous need that he has identified and located in Dominica, and he's trying his best to, you know, bring the resources. So there's need and there's resources, and he's providing the medium and the channel that serves that. So, folks, I forgot to ask you at the top of the show to share the link, but there's enough conversation left that you can invite people to come on and to listen to this conversation because we don't associate hunger with Dominica. We don't. We think of Dominica as abundant. We think of Dominica as the bread basket of the Caribbean. We're familiar with bags and bags of produce going to Guadeloupe and St. Lucia and Antigua and Barbados and all of these places from Dominica. And so we don't associate hunger with Dominica. But Julie, you were telling us that as in your job as the vice principal of a school, you identify a need in your students for a meal. And sometimes you say that one meal that that child gets at school, that might be the meal that that child has for the day. Can you talk about um, that sort of need? Let our audience understand that kind of need, and we hear it, and we definitely would like to help you do something about it. We have a delay with Julie. So.
Okay, I think what you're asking is to explain to the audience the need for the students to have a meal.
Yeah,
Is that
that
what
you
you're
say you
saying?
see the student. Yeah, you say sometimes you guys provide meals for the students in schools. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we do. We did have a feeding program. We had one before Maria, but obviously, post Maria, our kitchen got destroyed. You know, um, we are working with space. Of course, it's not um, fully equipped, but because of the need again, we had to kind of, as a staff management, and so we put our kitchen together. We got some help, of course. However, our feeding program never resumed in that. We used to do the meals as a school once a week, and another church would do another day. And we did get some help from a few and both local and in the diaspora. But as for the need for students to get a meal, The Bible says a hungry man is an angry man. It's not any different for children. And to think that you would go to school, learn, but your stomach is not cooperating, obviously you're going to come in and leave just the way you left. Maybe at that time more bungs in your stomach. So obviously that was um, really a tremendous need for our students. Even we are aware of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the basic is food, right? So if you're hungry and somebody is even trying to tell you something, you probably wouldn't even concentrate, let alone hear what they're saying, because your immediate need is to satisfy your hunger. And so it's quite unfair that you have a classroom of students who, but they are learn because their stomach is um, taking control, if I should put it that way. And so we recognize that need, and as a staff, like I said, and management, we do what we can. Of course, like I said, we get some help. Recently, early on in the year, we got some help from Kofi Thomas. I'm not sure if you know that name. His mom is Dominican, and he helped as well. So we were able to give um, some snack for about at least 2 months. At least 2 months, he helped. He and some of his friends in the States. And so we did that. Of course, that's not withstanding teachers themselves personally helping students with the minimum resources that we have. Teachers do that all the
Mhm.
time, all the time, whether they buy snack or they give lunch or they give of their own. Yeah. So I mean, you as a child, I don't know if you'd recall as a child when you were hungry. I mean, as adults, if we're hungry, we're able to more or less, deal with our hunger because we're adults. We've had many hungry days, if I can put it that way. So we kind of able to compartmentalize our hunger, whereas with children, they cannot do that. They are children. So the immediate need is I am hungry. Teacher, I cannot hear you. I am hungry. You understand? So we try our best. That's basically what it
Yeah,
is.
and thank you for that. And you say that teachers take from their personal resources to assist, and I can imagine that because if you have a child, especially if that child is trying their best, and you know that child has a need, you are going to get feel that compassion, and in your limited resources, you try to help. So just thank you for all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And especially,
Pastor,
with the
go ahead.
children, it's not their fault.
Mhm.
And mhm. No, I was saying,
Go ahead, go ahead.
especially
Mhm.
children, they have the potential. They have the potential. They came to school to learn, but you can see there's a huge difference between the potential and what's the actual reality. The actual reality is I cannot do the math because my stomach is eating me out, basically that kind of thing. And I'm sure our school is not unique in that. I mean, there are some schools it will be more pronounced because of the catchment area, but we are not alone. As Pastor Jack said, the school in his community they had to adopt for similar reasons. So
And so what I'd like to say is we need to be able to, like you said, there was one gentleman and his friends who was able to help for like 2 months. And so there's the opportunity for our listeners to come together. And again, I would repeat the number from Pastor Jack, 767-277-0188. Or you can contact us here at TDN and we will try to be able to organize. One person doesn't have to do plenty all on their own, but we can organize resources among many of us, and we can make a real difference. I want to talk about Friday's event. So Pastor Jack, what is happening on Friday? What time and where it is?
Friday is our Merry Christmas Day, and we're excited, and everybody's thrilled. We are in high gear right now, and what we aim to do on Friday from 1 o'clock to be one cutting hair, um, dressing some of them dress on the spot, make them feel a little part of what is happening in the festive season, cutting hair, and pedicures, manicures, and apart from dressing them up, and then feed them a hot meal. Our aim is at least 100 folks who will, like we did the other year, last year, what we did, because because of COVID, we had to package the food and brought it to, we went under the galleries and where they were sleeping and brought the food for them. And those who were just by the road, we couldn't bring them together. But this year, we're bringing everybody under the arch about 1 p.m., 1 in the afternoon, and we will have a great time with them. And one of the things we try to do is to sit with them and to eat with them, because people have more than just physical need. They have spiritual needs. They want to be accepted. They want to be loved. So we don't only want to go there and just feed them, like, make them feel a little less than we are. We try to encourage them. We bring the youth, the people that serve them, the young people, the high school students, and we said to sit with them and eat with them and have a little chat with them. Just let them come in the line and just pick up the food, and nobody is eating, and we don't want to look superior to them. And in talking about that and about Julie, just give me a moment, please. In the schools, when you're talking about needs, we found out that the children have all kind of needs, and the teachers who cooperate well. There's some principles, and I'm glad I just heard from Julie now that what she's doing and how we can help. We always try to see if we can do a little more at Open Arms. It's like at the school, we had to teach a simple question: do you notice any child that was not looking well presentable when the school year opened? And what do you think 2, 3, 4 children need? Maybe just a knapsack. Maybe they didn't get all the textbook or exercise book, or they need pens. And it may not be the whole school. You can't afford to supply things for the whole school. But that teacher would tell you there are 4 children in the class, or this child doesn't look like the child is properly taken care of. And then we go to that school and try to help the 3 or 4 student. And I like what you said, that it doesn't have to do all. You can bring 4 or 5 people together and do it. But back to the event, and we hope our ambassadors from Roseau, we have a couple of them, and we have a lady called Hazel who kind of, where the vagrants would come across, she would tell them that Friday, that is their day. We don't only want to just feed them, we want to kind of have a social with them. Nobody's having a party with these people. So that is the kind of thing we want to do, and present them with a package. Just not feeding only. We want to have a social event with these people, because some of these people, you make very good friends out of them for a long, long time. They never forget your name, so the emotion you feel and the joy of your sharing. Like we said, we changed your slogan from "What did you get for Christmas?" to ask your friends, "What did you give for this Christmas?" And so that we invite people, if you want to give something, we have a very good channel for which you want to give something for Christmas. We don't care what it is. But if even anybody would bring some gift on the spot, we'll be happy to just be the channel for which they can make the people feel like somebody. It's more than just feeding. It's like having their Christmas party. This is their Christmas party on Friday.
Certainly. Sam, I don't know if you can bring up the flyer. The flyer that has the PayPal and the different ways that people can donate. If you have it by just pull it up and we can mention it. There you go. You have to scroll up a little bit. Right. So on there it says, where's the information? Please contribute. That one doesn't have the PayPal information, or am I blind? Click for PayPal. The Cash App is um, Echo 78D. Ec- Echo 78D as in David, if you want to make a monetary contribution to help support. And although this is happening this Friday, so obviously it's already funded. We also do this at Easter time and 2 or 3 other times during the year. So don't think that you miss the opportunity to help or contribute. It is still there. If you can contribute $10, $50, $100, whatever it is you can contribute. If you want to contribute clothes or some other commodities, again, you can reach out. Reach out to TDN or call Pastor Jack at 767-277-0188. Julie, Pastor Jack says that you guys also give a package. You guys give haircuts. You guys, talk a little bit more beyond just giving a warm meal, which is significant. But talk about the care package and the different additional warmth that you'll share with these folks.
Yes, apart from the meal, we also give out care packages, and in the care packages, you will get combs, roll-ons, washcloth, soap, toothpaste. From We also give sanitary napkins for the females, um, and you would be very surprised that the very first time we did that, the women were so happy, because it appeared to them that we actually thought through. Because, I mean, when their menstrual cycle comes around, then they have to be wondering and probably going without and all that stuff. So most of the women that we handed out that care package, they were really, really happy for it. Um, I remember the first time as well when we did the haircuts, because let's face it, when we pass these people, we just sometimes we don't even recognize them. They're unkept. They look like they haven't had a bath for maybe the whole year, and so they jolly well cannot sit in a barber shop to go and get their hair done or shave. And so when we did that, and the men were very excited again and appreciative, because on a normal they cannot go into the barber shop to get themselves groomed. So yeah, it's not just the meal. We give you the meal and goodbye. As Pastor Jack said, we have a conversation. We do trying on clothes, and they choose what it is that they like or fits. We give the care packages. Um, some even go with extra food. And the care packages mean a lot to us because, as I said, the people, when they receive it, they are really grateful because it means that, they have tangible they can use. They have combs, they have toothpaste, toothbrushes, their pads, their soap, washcloths. I must mention too that the first time we did that, Jollies gave us some, um, I think it was the toothpaste and mouthwash, some soap, as well as WeChurch, HHV WeChurch and Company. They helped giving us some food items, which we used to prepare the meal. So this time around, we didn't get any help, but I am throwing it out there. If anyone, is able to, then we look forward to your contribution and in advance.
Yes, and Julie, let's talk about the humanity of the people that you help. Because it's so easy to just walk past them in Roseau, or like there always was 1 or 2 people that are around the place and so on. But when you stop, as Pastor Jack said, if you don't appear too busy, people will talk to you. And so there is some kind of a link maybe between a mental status and the folks, or maybe somebody went through a rough patch and nobody was there to help them, so they just never recovered. Um, Addressing the need, the immediate need
Yeah.
is one thing, but do you see that there's a need for maybe more facilities that can address maybe some mental health issues or some other social issues that can help alleviate those conditions?
Um, I am going to answer from what I hear because
Sure, sure, because we seem to have.
the conversation comes across disjointed. Yeah. I think what you're talking about is the mental health of uh, our clients. Is that it?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes. So basically, like I said earlier, no one wants to be in that position. Maybe would get person A to have a mental breakdown, person B would laugh at. So no one can say, well, oh, that no, or point a finger and say, well, there's no reason. In fact, many of us in Dominica at one point would know someone who fall off the cracks or breakdown. I know young people as early as high school, didn't complete high school, who fell through and end up on the streets. I have one of the guys in the midst was my schoolmate, and incidentally, he was very smart. He was an intelligent one, and I would have never thought when we were going to school together that he would have ended up on the road. In fact, when we did our CXCs, he did very well. He did better than me. And for today, for him to be on the streets, um, it just goes to show it that it can really happen to anyone. And so, to point fingers at or to look down at any one of these people is really unfair, because when you realize that if it's probably, I should say, if it's not the grace of God or um, the help or that you have around you, then it could happen to any one of us basically. And mental health is not to be taken granted. We should never think that, people make light of people mental health. In fact, we still have this notion that health is probably you do not have cancer or you do not have a broken leg or something like that. But of course, um, holistic health has to do with physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health. And mental health is a huge component of one's health. Uh, when you speak to these people and you hear their stories, again, that can easily happen to anyone because some of these stories are really heartbreaking. And you recognize that if these people just had a support group or if they had some sort of help, perhaps they would not have ended up on the streets. Sometimes too, people they reach out for help, but it's not forthcoming, and so they end up, on the streets.
It's sad. So, Paula, give us an idea of how many meals on average do you give out on an occasion like this on average? I know the number varies, but on average, like maybe the last time we did it, or how many meals you expect to be handed out on Friday.
Can you repeat, please?
I was saying to give an idea of the numbers, the meals you expect to give out on Friday. On
Or
average, how
that we
many
would see
meals you
on the
give?
road.
No, meals that you expect to
Oh,
give.
okay,
Truly.
100. The first year we did 120. And I just remember to one of the corporate sponsors we had was Guyav. Guyav did cook for us on one of our feeding programs. Usually we meet about 100. When we're there, we distribute about 100 to 120 meals, and they go in a shake.
Mhm. So the need is
They
great.
do. And I have to say as well, because when I say 100 to 120, people say, "What?" I don't know. But not just vagrants, but I remember too, there was one occasion that a single mom came by and she said to us, she knows it's not the meals were for quote unquote fragrance. But when she shared her story with us, we also gave her meals for herself and her children, and then put her on to who helped, as well as one of the times we had another help. That was Julie Roberts Foundation, and she too also helped this young lady I know. Um, so it's not just vagrants that we meet. We meet people who would look normal, but they're also going through their struggles. And so when we say we prepare 100 to 120 meals, is that we target those who are most needy. But you'd be very surprised.
Yeah, so the need is great. Sam, I know I think we have a video. I don't know if you have it queued. If you have it queued, just bring it
Yes.
up. Um, but folks, this is happening on Friday at the Arch, on the riverbank at the Arch.
Yes.
The Homeless Outreach Committee is going to be providing meals and care packages and just care in general to folks who are homeless in Dominica, but also folks who just have a need. If you know somebody who will benefit from just the socialization, the camaraderie, a free haircut, a meal, invite them to come. Invite them to come. I see we have Pastor Jack back with us. Uh, Pastor Jack,
And I
go ahead, Julie.
Yeah.
You want to say something? We we're having issues where we have a delay when we try to talk to Julie. So just bear with us. Um,
Yeah, I was going to say that if you feel that you can help, because I think Pastor Jack mentioned as well that if you think you have a gift or you would like to share or you want to do a haircut or you want to prepare a care package, for sure. I mean, we would be very happy. The more we have is the more people we reach.
yeah, certainly. So anybody can come and help. Anybody is welcome to show up, and even if it's just to while the people are waiting in line, have a conversation. Just make them feel at home. It's Christmas. Make them feel that we just walk past them like they are broken down car by the road. We see them as people, and we're warm to them. Pastor Jack, we pretty much at the end of the hour, but speaking with young people, I remember one of the events that we did before. There were young people that were helping to serve, helping to take care. How is that working out? Were we connecting young people and therefore developing that value in them?
It's something that we promote highly among our youth. This year, they also had the opportunity to go and spend a day with the children at Chances, I think, and to bring them the same kind of warmth and love, because they need to know every child is not as fortunate as they are. So that is emphasized a lot among us. So we bring the youth, and they'll come this year. And school is closed; they are on vacation. Come and so, and we deliberately dish out the food and give it to them to go and serve one person. Each child must. No one is standing by idle by. But I also want to mention, when you mentioned about mental health, that the Granby, this year we are not going to be in Portsmouth. So Open Arms find it fitting. And we always say we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Where there is a committee or a group that we can either join or support to make sure the same purpose is fulfilled, so same goals are met, we are happy. And we have a group of the Granby Health staff who takes care of the mentally ill, and they feed them periodically. And we too, all we do is supply them with the food, and they cook for them. And they are going to have their social tomorrow Thursday, the nurses. And we said, as much as we're not going to be in Portsmouth, give us a little ease this year, so we focus on Granby. So Granby will be having the same kind of thing, and most of the mentally ill people, and we do the same thing, try to get them a care package and a meal and clothes, and the same kind of stuff is happening tomorrow, Thursday, in Granby. So,
do you know where is it at the health center or
at the
what
health
time?
center, at the health center, they all come to the health center in Granby, and we're doing that. And it's been some time they have been doing that, but when they heard about Open Arms for a number of times, we have been supporting them by supplying them with what they need, the groceries and the food stuff that they need, so that they can have an event also. Because our building is in Granby proper, where the church is. And we also think it's not good testimony for us. Granby people will never have it, that we do everything for everybody everywhere, and we forget the Granby people. So we are happy.
Charity begins at home.
Yeah, so we are doing an event also, supporting an event in Granby. And it's a continuous thing though in Granby. And it's not only for Christmas, but this Christmas we wanted to stretch it out a bit to bring the clothes and the food. But apart from that, periodically a meal is supply, a hot meal to these people. That's
Okay.
what we do.
Okay.
So,
That's
So
like we're at
it's-
the end of the hour, so I'm going to let you give us some closing remarks.
Mhm.
Talk about Friday's event, what's going on. Talk in general about Open Arms, charity, and how what. Give us a little more information what it's about.
um, Open arms simply mean what it means. We open to all, and people have all kind of needs: spiritual, physical, material, and there is somebody. Trust me, you can help. Nobody said that I'm helpless. We say that if you cannot help somebody, maybe you can just find the help for them. And our focus is very much on the elderly and children, less fortunate elderly and children, because the stories are heartbreaking when you hear about people who have been abandoned. So we are promoting a program that I am very, very, very much passionate about, is adopt an elder. I want to say that, adopt an elder. It does not cost money to adopt an elder, especially you are in the diaspora and you may be not able to go and see Mashoy, because you're away, you're in New York, but you can sponsor an elder, which we go there and do a case study on the person to find out what is exactly you need. Maybe there was a lady far from where I live, but there was one disabled person who was so conscientious, they called our number and told us of what is happening far from on the north, and I live in the south. And the care that we need was to pay a caretaker to go there to make sure the person is fed, their hair is combed, and the house is clean. Somebody could sponsor that. Somebody, and these are the kind of help. Everybody have a different area of help. Whether it's a school child who need a haversack, or we may just notice that the child's shoes is wearing out, and and the teacher, we go to the schools and we ask the principal, have you seen any child who's down or not? And they would help. So the help is not one special kind of. Sometimes you go to people and they say simple things like, So long I build in the kitchen, but I can afford to buy a sink, a kitchen sink. And we might just have somebody who said, one of these lady called me and had, I think, 4 of them. She said she had 4 kitchen sinks that she could give away. She heard my number on the phone and she called. And we will go to one village and find out what you need is a kitchen sink. Somebody may need a toilet bowl, kitchen utensils. We don't care what it is, how we can help you spiritually. And like I said, sometimes all you need is somebody to sit with you and visit you. With adopting elder, at least we have to visit you once a month. Once a month. There are people sometimes you have to buy a phone. Just you live alone and teach them how to use a cell phone. And in case something happens, you can call this number, you can call this person. Give There is help. Every one of us can do something. And I would not rest until I know there is not one elderly person who is neglected in the village of Dominica. I'll be setting up a directory that in every village we know how many elderly people are there. We will know how they are taken care of. And we try to, first of all, to cooperate with your relatives and to ask you just to find out what you can do and what we can help you to do. So this is exciting for me. That is what that is what my passion is. And I always say to people, religion didn't teach me that. I learned that from my mother, who is 92 years old. I don't think it's when I went to church or Christianity. Well, maybe Christianity because my mother was a church-going person, but I saw the practice. I saw the practice of giving, and it grew on me as a child, and I think all my siblings. And so this is not something I do for any other reason, but it's just a passion. It's just if I don't do that. When I got to the church, I was quite surprised that there was not that movement in the church, and I began that by creating Docker's Den and Elijah's Inn. You ask, what is that? Docker's Den was a place I got to set up in the church, and we just bring clothes there. And anybody from the church, outside the church, could go there. You donate something or you take something, because Docker's Den is from a woman in the Bible. And Elijah's Inn was an apartment to pick up anybody who is in crisis for a night, a short stay. And then we developed another program called Soul of the Ground. Soul of the Ground was no child should go to school without shoes. Take their soul off the ground. So people didn't understand. They thought it was something spiritual about the soul in man. No, it was soul of the ground was created by my niece and I. And we just watch a child walk down to school without shoes. And we said, we can do something about that. And people, right now, I still have sitting in America, knapsacks, school bags that have not been sent, shoes, school shoes that have not been sent to me. They sent me the pictures of them and said, this is what we have in store for you. So like you said, anybody, anywhere can do something. And on Friday, if you want to do something, you may not be able to go to an event by yourself, but you can come around, smile out with somebody, help somebody. That is what it's all about. Let everyone have a Merry Christmas. Thank you for inviting
Thank you
me.
so much, Pastor Jack, and happy birthday to you. We say your birthday was on Sunday. I wish you a great year and many more blessed years. Continue doing your good work. And you know, folks, again, his number is 767-277-0188. 277-0188. Call him and he will be able to direct you as to how you can assist. Or send us an email, info@tdnradio.net. Info@tdnradio.net. You also have the flyer up. If you want to make a monetary contribution on Cash App, you have Echo 78. You can call us to get you the PayPal information as well. So my guest tonight was Pastor Jack and Julian Martin. Julie, I'm going to come to you and just have you make some closing remarks as well, and to take the opportunity to tell you thank you so much for all that you do, you and everybody else who's involved in those programs. Julie, go ahead, give us some closing remarks.
Yes. Unmuted, so I figure it's me. So I just want to say
Yeah.
thanks for having us on tonight. Thanks for the exposure. And if I have to leave with anything, is that Maybe you cannot feed 100. Maybe you can feed one. Maybe you cannot feed anyone at all, but you can listen. Maybe you can go ahead and help someone to clean their backyard. Whatever you can do, um, is not just for the season. I mean, we say Christmas, and it's that kind of season where we try to do things and be there for each other, but let it be year round. Um, Whatever the needs, because we all need each other at one point. Today I may lean on your shoulder, tomorrow you may lean on mine. So my advice, my last word would be to whoever you are, wherever you are, in what corner of, whether it's Dominica, what corner of the world that you are in. One, as we spoke about earlier, mental health can be very, very fragile. And if you're there for someone, whether you're there as a listener, or someone with open arms, or whether you can give a meal, whatever you can do to help a person move along in this world without feeling destitute, homeless, or helpless, do that. And so, thanks again. And we look forward to Friday, where we will meet our clients and hope that we meet some new ones. So, thanks and all the best.
Thank you so much, guys. As we said, there was great need. We had a little bit of challenge on the technology coming from Dominica, but we managed to have a very good program. The message got out that there is a need, and it's something is being done about it. But they also need you to help them to do more. And so we admire the folks on the ground who, it's not that they don't have their own personal challenges, they do, but they're able to have a little excess capacity, a little excess time, and they make the time to go out and to help folks. And as Pastor Jack said, it's a Dominican tradition. I was telling someone the other day, growing up in Castle Bruce, my mother, she had a preschool, and she would get up and go to church in the morning, and she would get back home at 9 o'clock when school's supposed to start at 9, because she has to pass at somebody's home and see how they're doing, because they are shorting, or she know that she make sure they have something for breakfast, make sure that they are probably clean. Um, I remember as a boy, I used to have to go bring food for some of those folks who couldn't help themselves. And when I get there, I have to feed them. And so that's how we were raised in Dominica. So it's a Dominican tradition that helps to build that compassion. And so we admire what Pastor Jack and Julian and the rest of the folks are doing in Dominica, and especially the involvement of the young people, because that is how we breed the next generation of passionate Dominicans that can help to see someone and not just walk past them because they look like they are in a lower station at the moment than you are. Um, and so thank you on behalf of all the folks that you help. Thank you on behalf of Dominica as a whole, to both of you. And we wish you a very successful event on Friday. By successful, I mean that you see a lot of smiles. You see a lot of smiles from the folks that you help, and you make a difference. You shine some light in somebody's soul who may be feeling and they neglected, especially at Christmas time, where everybody is joyous and everybody else seems like they're having more for their Christmas than you are. And you guys are helping them to see that you see them. And everybody wants to know that I see you. Everybody wants to get that feeling that I see you. That you're not just a telephone pole, so I just walk past you. Everybody wants to get that feeling that somebody walks by and they see me, they smile at me, they say hello. Um, and they take the time to recognize me. And so once again, guys, what you do is tremendous, and we admire you. My audience, I beg you to help. Call the number 767-277-0188, or send an email to info@tdnradio.net. If you have my number, WhatsApp me. I'll put you in touch with the appropriate people, so that you can play your part as well. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Pastor Jack. Merry Christmas, Julie.
You too.
Um, just have a good time on Friday. Uh, I'll be watching you guys jealous and wishing that I was there.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Good night. Good night, folks. Thank you. Well, folks, there you have it. Another episode of This Week in Interview. Very somber episode, but still exciting because folks are identifying a need and doing something about it. And that's all it takes is to see something and not just walk by, but be willing to do something about it. And so I want to wish you a great end to your week. Sunday is Christmas Day. I guess we celebrate it on Monday. So it's a holiday weekend. Be careful, guys. Sometimes there's alcohol and other chemicals involved in the celebration. So go moderately and be very careful. Stay safe. And I wish you a Merry Christmas from all of us here at TDN Radio. Good evening.